Garlic Fries and Baseball, guys. That's Joe Shasky. I'm Mark Willard. 2 episodes a week. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any. All right, let's look at the math before we hop out of here. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why this number's on my mind. Reason number 1 is I think it's the minimum that gives them a shot at the playoffs. Reason number 2 is I do think it might have been the Vegas over-under at the beginning of the year. And yes, I have a couple of side bets with friends for this number. So I'm also personally motivated. If the Giants can get to 85 wins, they need to go 25-16 the rest of the way. That in and of itself sounds really hard, especially when you know that there's a lot of Dodgers and a lot of Phillies and a lot of Padres and a lot of all that is still coming on the schedule. So 25-16 already sounds hard enough.
Yeah.
But if they were able to do that, and 2 of the 3 wild card teams they're chasing from the Padres, Phillies, and Brewers, if 2 of the 3 kind of play a little bit below 500 during that stretch, this is still a possibility. But based on everything we know, how you feeling about math like that right now?
It's so hard to predict this team. They were on, fire is a relative term. They felt like they were on fire during the 5-game win streak, and then they lose that game, and then it's just like the whole head got kicked in, and then they go on a 4-game skid. And yesterday was nice. I thought for sure they were going to lose that game against the Colorado Rockies in extra innings. It's so hard for me to predict anything with this team. I expect Rodon and Webb at minimum 1 win every time those 2 come around the rotation at minimum. And right.
1.5. I'm going to say
right?
1.5.
Well, they got 0 this week, and like that was a death blow. And I was hoping that they could rebound and finish the Diamondback series properly, and they didn't. And I think that really sent them into a little whirlwind. Is it plausible? Of course it's plausible. Is it likely? Boy, the hardest part is me envisioning one other guy in this bullpen stepping up and just being decent. Like, forget reliable, decent. Yesterday, Sam Young gives up runs. Well, he didn't give up the lead. I guess that's a step in the right direction. That's how low the bar is right now. I mean, Mark,
I guess know. If we spotlight yesterday, if that had not been in the context of all this poor bullpen performance, we would have blown it off as a Colorado game.
Yes.
Like, you lose a 6-2 lead in the 8th, you lose an 8-6 lead in the 10th. We're used to this. There's 2 to 3 games like that per year in Colorado, and you won. So normally you'd be like, great. But in this context, I don't like it because Colorado's sitting there going for a sweep, and it's the same thing I told you last week when people were like 5-game win streak, and I'm like, yes, fun, but no. I want to see a win streak that shows that their problem has been fixed, not just you have more runs than the other team. And within those 5 games, you needed 2 walk-off home runs, and the only time you had a big lead, you coughed it up with your bullpen. So I'm like, no, the bullpen is still not pitching well, and so this is not going to go well until they do. And so what have they done then with the next 5 games? They lose 4 of them, and they win 1 of them where the hitters made up for consistent bad bullpen performance. So you're right. Like, this is, it really is that simple. Harlan Garcia has got to pitch better and more consistent. Leon's got to hit the strike zone more. Brebbia has to continue to be the best version of himself. They've got to hide Tyler Rogers or something. I don't know. But right now, my optimism has nothing to do with math, nothing to do with what the Giants should be in my mind. It has everything to do with I will believe in all possibilities as soon as I see relievers pitching better. And to this point, we haven't seen that.
Well, and the big takeaways for me, finally, they get some timely hitting and execution. Finally, we see a great relay throw by Lamont Wade. And again, another great start by Jacob Junis, but it's overshadowed because of some of these other issues coming out of the bullpen. So I'm with you on a lot of these things. Although I got to say, oh my goodness, did you see the play where the ball went through the glove?
Yes.
I have been playing ball and watching ball my whole life. I am a Wilson A2000 aficionado. In fact, I have one. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in this room right now. I have never seen that in my entire life. And I'm saying that's an omen. We have to win this game. And then when they blew it, I said, oh, no, it's an omen in the other direction. Right. We're going to lose this game. But have you ever seen that before, Mark?
You've never, I don't know if I've ever seen it at the big league level, and I've definitely never seen it in between the fingers.
That's what I meant.
In the web, yes. Like I had that happen to me in Little League in the web. I definitely had that happen to me where the ball went right through and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But no, I've never seen it, certainly not at the big league level through the fingers. Even though it was a giant opponent, I felt bad for the guy.
It was unbelievable. But anyway, the point being is I'm watching this Giants team and I'm like, all right, situational hitting. They're getting runners over. Now, quietly, well, not so quietly, Mike Yastrzemski just feels like he is in the ocean, in the deep water, and the guy needs not more than a life vest. He needs a helicopter. I mean, he needs an entire USS Hornet to come save him and pick him out of the deep end. I don't know what you do with him moving forward. I feel like he's another guy that might just have to sit.
Well, not only that, here's the other side to that conversation. And again, it's based on how much you feel like the Giants are still playing for this year, which is now you've got 40 game auditions, right? Like what does Longo do the rest of the way? That's a big piece of this. Yaz, I mean, I love Yaz, but this is not a contract. Like he's still an arbitration guy. The Giants, they don't have to have him on the team next year.
No.
Lamont Wade has not been able to get his batting average up to 200. You don't have to have him on the team next year. Some of these guys have solidified positions. I'm sure Austin Slater is going to be on this team next year. Joey Bart's going to be on the team next year. Brandon Crawford, Tommy La Stella, Webb, Cobb. These guys are all going to be on the team next year. And outside of that, I really, Estrada, I have no idea beyond that. And so it's audition time for everybody. And these are very important 40 some odd games for Mike Yastrzemski, because there was the first year and he popped. And since then, he's definitely been good enough, but he's never really consistently been that guy again. And so now over, even last year where it was largely a 220 season, he had enough power to
20-something jacks.
Yeah, he had enough power, so it made it okay. But if you lose that power like you have this year, he's got some work to do to get himself on the roster next year.
Off balance swing, swinging at stuff in the dirt, and lunging at the first pitch. Like he's just all out of sorts. I don't know what his approach is right now at the plate. And he's just somebody that I penciled in for the next couple of years, and I'm saying that was premature. Yeah, I might have to erase that one, because it's the truth. He's played himself right off this team, and it stinks. So moving forward, if he is going to play, he's got to show a pulse. Like I got to see something from him. And then AAA, as we near the September, I know the call-ups aren't what they used to be. Right. My God, can we get one or two bullpen arms? Just one or two arms who can come up and just give me a little bit of promise. Last year, it was Santos and Castro. You saw a little bit of them. You got a little promise. They put Castro, I believe, on the playoff roster. I don't know who they're going to bring up. Why they haven't already, I just don't know what to make of it.
Right, yeah, you'd think by now they'd be doing that already anyway.
Just try it.
Right, with the issues that are going on in the bullpen. So, yeah, I'm with you there. And by the way, while we're talking farm, just to give everybody a warm fuzzy on the way out the door, Marco Luciano activated from his injury, and the next night, grand slam. So while everyone's kind of down on the farm year, I want to remind everyone the only bad thing that happened to Luciano was an injury. There's nothing in terms of poor performance. So that was awesome to see, because I want that guy back on the fastest track possible.
Yeah, and God, I know they're not gonna. I would love to get a September Harrison start. Just a little. Here's a start. Go as long as you can go, whether it's 2 innings, 5 innings. I would just love to get him in front of the home crowd this offseason, before this offseason.
Yep, I'm absolutely with you. All right, we'll be back with you midweek as the Giants have 2 in Detroit. We'll be with you after that. For Joe Shasky, Mark Willard, make sure you are subscribed to Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys.